YouTube fans, this is Matt, a post-April 6th YouTube channel. Today is the day after my 53rd birthday. And what you just saw footage of just before I did my official greeting was the opposite side of North Broadway Street, and it's in between 1st and 2nd Avenue. The second thing you saw was a place I was at for a little over 2 hours. Mayan Theater, which is also part of Landmark Theaters. And the movie that I saw was The Invite with Edward Norton, Seth, I think it's ROGEN, and OLIVIA, WILDE, and some other good actors and actresses. And it was a really good comedy, but even though no sex acts really took place, it's got a little bit of a R-rated, NC-17, X-rated, verbal type sexual situation comedy. That's not all of what it was about, and the rest of it was, excuse me, just typical adult situations and profanity. It's an rated R film, and I am on. Let me take a look here, just really. Okay, I had to verify it. I am on 2nd Avenue and Lincoln. And let me tell you, this area gets a little high traffic oriented, even at this time of night, which is 9:20, almost 9:30. Actually, it's somewhere between 9:18 and 9:20, because what my watch says and what the smartphone says are usually two different things, because the time's a little different by a couple of minutes, or whatever the situation would be. And I'm hungry. I'm going to go get me something, probably at Postino's, and I'm also going to do a Google search to see what restaurants are in the immediate area, because I don't have to get to bed just like that. I'm not a man who has to get to bed by 10 o'clock, no compromise, no exception. I run my own show, but I make sure not to stay up way too late, because that's not good for my body. And that could also, even though I wouldn't get fired, it could affect my job performance. Got to work tomorrow, so can't be staying up too late. Not good for me. Not good for me at all. Physically, mentally, spiritually, you know what I mean. And when I get home, I will try to continue the vlog. So all I got to say at this time is the vlog's going to end just for now, but just stay tuned. There's going to be more. Thank you. Well, finally I am back at it again. So why don't I go ahead and give some more details about the movie, and where I actually wound up eating, and what else happened after I left the restaurant and headed towards Spirit Boulevard and North Washington to try to catch an RTD ride that quite unfortunately didn't go through. But this is all going to be very interesting. Okay, so after I stopped filming, when I was on between 2nd Broadway and 2nd and Lincoln, I decided against going to Postino's. And I walked into, and this place is pretty loud. It's called Punch Bowl Social. And they don't just have something to eat, they have a bar in there. And they also have an area where you can play pool, and you can also throw darts, and you can also do karaoke. And the number of people that were in that restaurant after 9:30 was at least 24. I mean, they were scattered all over the area. That would be on the side near where the bar is. And a waiter came up and talked with me, and he required that I give him my credit card or debit card so that he could process the order. That's something they got to do, because I think one of the reasons why they do it that way is because they're in an area where too many people are going to rip them off and stiff them. So I gave him my debit card, and he did a temporary authorization of $1. And he ordered what I wanted, which was 2 slider sandwiches that are called barbecue pulled pork barbecue sliders, 2 of them. And they have pickles, and they have lettuce on there. And believe me, those little things are good. They tasted better than I ever thought. And I also, in the order, got a Sprite to drink. And once I ate in there, I was feeling good. And then I left, and something in me snapped. I think what it was I was so concerned about getting the ride, and the other thing is I was feeling a little bit of stress in my heart because of the Sprite I was drinking. It caused a little stress on my heart. I didn't have a heart attack or anything like that. I just kind of felt full of some anxiety, and I just kept walking and walking and walking and walking, and I walked, held my on my chest like that, because otherwise my arm would just feel kind of like twitching or something. It's probably a side effect of the brain injury I had as well. And then, like I said, when it came to the area where I was at Broadway and 6th Avenue, I walked up 6th Avenue, and instead of going this way, you turn at an angle, because it's one of those streets that goes it's a diangular type street instead of straight north, south, east, west. And when I was on Spear and Grant, the Route 83L drove past me. And I thought, uh-oh, I ran short. And then I thought, well, why don't I get to the bus stop and look at the transit app again and see what my options are. Well, the number 6 was only 2 minutes. It was going to be arriving on 6th Avenue and Washington within 2 minutes, and I thought to myself, no, I don't. In fact, I was kind of talking to myself this way. I was like, no, don't do that. You're not going to make it. Even if you run so fast that until your heart drops, it's not going to work out, and it's going to be way too hard on you. Don't do it. Don't do it. So then I pulled up the Lyft app, and I got a ride from where I was, which is a facility where it's a medical facility where it's perfect teeth on one part of the building, and on the other part of it, it's chiropractic care. And or what's called a back and joint spa. And within about 3 minutes, the driver comes up, and I got into the back seat of his car, And I tell you, it was really nice to sit down because on the underarms I was sweaty and my butt was sweating because I was hot from walking so fast. I know, too much information. And I got myself home. Now, before I forget, here is what else I learned about the movie. It's a 2026. It's, you know, a movie that was released in January 2026. So it's a new movie now. It's not one of those ones that's 2 or 3 years old. It's called The Invite. Not The Invited. The Invite. And Angela is played by Olivia. I thought it was Wilde, but it's actually Wilde. W-I-L-D-E. And Edward Norton plays the upstairs neighbor, and he went by Hawk, H-A-W-K-E. And Seth Rogen, or ROGEN, whatever, he played the husband. I believe his character name was Joe. And Penelope CRUZ, she played the wife. I think her name was Pina or something like that. She was both of these women are beautiful. I think Olivia Wilde is more attractive, but Penelope's still attractive. She just looks a little more old school and kind of like a housewife, but she's still attractive. And that movie, most of that movie is kind of like 2 different movies that Hitchcock did, where it was a one scene type movie, or one set type movie, meaning most of it was filmed in one what the British would call a flat, and what the Americans would call either an apartment or a condo. And there was a lot of, back and forth talking, and a lot of the people in the audience were laughing, and I was laughing too. In fact, that was part of the reason why I laughed, was hearing other men and women laughing. I loved it. And the plot of the movie is based on about a 2-bedroom apartment that they lived at in San Francisco, California. And Joe plays a music instructor at it's not East Bay College, but it's something conservatory school. And it was a good movie. I really had a good time. And I got a special a special Tuesday special price of only $7. Yep. Mayan Theater is a very good theater. I mean, it's got this nice old school look, and it's well kept up. It doesn't look like some old theater where it's clean, but yet everything looks beat up. Everything's well kept up, good condition. Very nice to look at. Okay, so anyways, after I got my Lyft ride home, several things happened. One, I fed my kitty, Isabella, her late dinner. 2, I took some prescription medications I'm supposed to take as a second dose. 3, I took some, I believe it's, let me check the name of the ice cream, I'll be right back. In fact, it is this. It is Blue Bunny soft serve. No, soft vanilla. See? And after I ate that up, and I drank a nice cup of Keurig medium dark roast, or medium to dark roast coffee out of one of these, I watched a few things on YouTube. One was about something from Adventures Made from Scratch. You know, some crushing that he's doing and getting rid of some tractors so he can make room in his junkyard. And I also, there's a pile of handkerchiefs that were stacked up over my clothing iron, and I made room on my ironing board to iron every single one of them. I think I ironed at least 5 to 6 handkerchiefs. Yep. And let me think a minute. Oh yeah, I listened to some music from Chicago, the band. And then I thought, you know, it's time for me to do what I'm doing now, which is doing this YouTube vlog. And what I decided to do, instead of doing one of my music intros, I thought, okay, no music. Why don't you do the best you can to put some nice font as an introductory gesture, greeting, and then go ahead and film yourself doing what I'm doing now, sitting down on my daybed and filming this very carefully. Yeah, I had to really adjust the tripod so that I show up just right. Tomorrow, I work a 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. shift, and on the 16th, Thursday, it's going to be a tough day because I don't have to work, but what I do have to do is I have to get up early. And I have to be at a doctor's office at 8:30 a.m. sharp for what's called a musculoskeletal exam. I have to do this, or Social Security Administration is going to be quite upset with me. Can't have that going on. And I will make sure to get it done, because I have to. And later on that day, my good friend Tom is going to take me out for dinner as a belated birthday present. He's a very caring, good-hearted man, and he's a deeply religious Christian. And I'll enjoy it. And let's look at what my kitty's up to. What are you looking for? What are you looking for there, kitty? Huh? What are you looking for? I think you're looking for something. What are you looking for? Or are you just being a curious cat? Yeah, you're probably just being a curious cat, aren't you? Well, since I turned the lenses back around and put the camera back up on the, resting on the activity table, she's, I think any second now she's going to hop up on the cat tower so she can get up on the windowsill. No, I just looked. She's not ready for the windowsill just yet, but she's cleaning herself and being a really good kitty and keeping herself clean. Yep. In fact, here's what I'm going to do before I end the vlog. I'm going to go over to my picture, or my photo album, and I'm going to find a picture to display in this YouTube vlog. So I will be right back. Here's a photograph of me taken in October 1974. No, actually, let me look at this again. That is a photograph taken of me in 1973. So that means I was 3 months old, but the way I look, I think I was 6 months old. Yeah, it says October 1973. So, in my opinion, because of what photographs I've seen of myself when I was 3 months old, 2 to 3 months old, I think I was 4 months old in this photograph. Now, maybe I'm wrong. You know, maybe the way I looked in one 2 to 3 month old photograph and the way I looked in there, I'd grown a bit, and I probably looked a little bit older and a little bit bigger and a little more like a infant that was possibly as old as 6 months old, or a little bit longer than that, 7 to 8 months old. Anyways, that's me, no question about it. Yep. Yeah, I'll never forget that Raggedy Ann doll. I love that doll. Yeah, right there. Right there. I love that little doll. There I am, right there. I was 9 years old, and that's my late sister, Michelle Bickford. That was before the alcohol use really got to her. And where that photograph is taken is at a stop in downtown San Francisco. No, not San Francisco. Downtown San Diego. And we are heading to San Isidro. San Isidro is right on the border. You know, California's here, and I believe it will be either Tijuana or Tecate. Mexico is right over there. It's that close. It's that close. Yeah, that photograph was taken in either late March or April of 1983. And sadly about my sister, she didn't die, but she had a pretty bad mistake that she made. It was either in late June or early July, somewhere between July 2nd and July 9th. She was drunk driving home, and she badly rear-ended. She was driving a 1970s Ford Bronco Orange Ford Pinto, and she badly rear-ended a 1982 or 1981, it was somewhere between 1979 and 1982 Ford LTD. Yeah, because she lost control and she rear-ended it bad. She knocked herself out because her chest hit her chest hit the steering wheel very hard, and the top of her head slammed into the windshield pretty hard while she was sitting on the car seat, driver's side car seat. She didn't have a skull fracture, but she still had a serious head injury. I think she was in an emergency room for several hours, and then I think after she was released from there, she got booked for a DUI, and someone from the law firm bailed her out of jail. At least I think so anyway. Somebody she knew got her out within about 2-3 hours. And not good that she did that to herself, not good. And as of February 10th, 11th, or 12th of 2012, she's deceased. She died of liver failure at a hospice in Almonte Springs, Florida, which is near Orlando, Florida. Well, that's the end of this vlog now. Thank you everyone for watching this, and goodbye now. Thank you. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe now.